Like I said, man, we are back with another episode, Sportswithseb, episode 7, NBA Finals begins. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, almost here, should I say. I say the NBA Finals have started because we know one of the two teams that will be joining the New York Knicks. Backtrack. We know one of the teams that will be joining, and it will be the New York Knicks, who are officially in the NBA Finals after completing a 4-0 sweep versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And as you guys know, as of last night, OKC currently leads the series versus the San Antonio Spurs 3-2, with Game 6 happening tomorrow night. Can the Spurs even the series to force a Game 7, or will OKC close the series out? Should the Cavs blow up the roster? Can the Knicks actually win the finals? Like, Miami Dolphins win-loss schedule? Well, there's so much things to talk about today, and I'm excited. Let's get right into it, man. But first things first, I know I usually do basketball first, but like I said in the previous episode, I'm going to make sure I get to it in this episode. And the time has come. So we are officially locked in with the Miami Dolphins NFL schedule for the 2026 season. It's been released. We know the times. We know the opponents. We know who's home. We know who's away. We know everything except for the jersey combination colors, right? So I'm going to go ahead and give my predictions on our win-loss record. And this is assuming nobody gets injured, obviously, because injuries happen throughout the season. Very early on, we haven't even hit like real training camp yet. We haven't even hit preseason yet. This is very, very early predictions. A lot can change between now and then. And my predictions will probably change between now and then. But as of right now, with the current roster the Miami Dolphins hold, this will be my win-loss based on those parameters. All right? So let's go ahead and get my notes out here. Miami Dolphins. Win-loss. I just got to keep a record of it here just because, I like to have it written down because obviously we're going to have it here, but I can't doodle on it. So at least I haven't figured it out yet. So, all right. Let's go ahead and put Seb in the corner. Boom. And then let's bring this schedule out a little bit. I think about right there. I think that's good. What do you guys think? There's nothing else to see other than those arrows, so should be good. And then on Twitter, you guys are going to have a beautiful little site here. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me zoom out just a tad. There you go. You guys can see the schedule. Everybody can see the schedule. Everybody is happy. All right, chat. Let me know what you guys think, man, on some of these predictions, because maybe I'm completely crazy. Maybe I'm just a little biased because you guys know I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, guys. So take this with a grain of salt, if you will. But you guys know me. I like to give honest coverage regardless if I'm a fan of the team or not. However, if I am a fan of that team, you will definitely know it. All right, so here we go. The Miami Dolphins 2026 will open up the season in Las Vegas versus the Raiders versus Fernando Mendoza, who I imagine will be the day one starter. And it's going to be a 4 p.m. game for the Miami Dolphins, obviously, because we're playing on the West Coast. So for the East Coast, at least, we will be watching a 4:25 game to start our season off. Listen, man, the Miami Dolphins are definitely in a rebuild mode. There's no debate about that. The Raiders are also on a complete rebuild mode. I mean, they just drafted their franchise quarterback with the first overall pick in this draft. A Columbus High School graduate, by the way, with native ties to Florida. Sucks that he doesn't actually get to play in Florida for his first game. I think that would have been really cool, but, whatever. But yeah, so back to what we really want to talk about here. Do we really think the Miami Dolphins can win versus Fernando Mendoza? Can they take advantage of the rookie in his day one, first real reps as a day one NFL starter? I'm going to go ahead and say that Malik Willis can pull this game off. And I don't say that because I don't think Fernando Mendoza is not going to be good enough to win that game. I just think that the Raiders, obviously, they're also missing a lot of pieces on that roster. Let's be real here. These are two of the worst teams coming together to face each other in week 1. So it's really like worse or worser is what you're deciding between. And I'm gonna assume the Dolphins' experience with Malik Willis at the quarterback position, not with him with the team, but him as a quarterback in general, being in the league for quite some time. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they do win that game. If I have to give a score prediction, are we gonna do score predictions? Let's do it. Let's do score predictions. I will say, let's say 21-10, man. I don't think the Raiders really get going in that game. I think it'll be rough for Mendoza. And, who knows? Maybe they'll shock me. But I'm going to say, so far, Dolphins are 1-0, right? Let me actually go like this. All right. And then the second week, we will still be in the West Coast. But we will be playing the San Francisco 49ers. September 20th, 4:25 p.m. Obviously, guys, we're losing this game. I really don't think we need to explain other than they're the 49ers, and they have a much, much better team than the Miami Dolphins. Brock Purdy, I imagine, will still be the starter, assuming, he's healthy and nothing happens between now and then. And that's really all I need to know. If Brock Purdy's starting that game, the 49ers are going to win. And honestly, if he's not starting that game, I still think they might win, because the Miami Dolphins, guys, let's be frank here. The Miami Dolphins are not looking good this season, man. They're not looking good this season. However, I will say I am hopeful for the future of this Miami Dolphins team. I know realistically what we look like heading into this season. So I'm going to go ahead and say the 49ers whoop us. It's not going to be close. I'm going to say they're going to whoop us. I'm going to say it's going to be 28-7. Okay? They're going to beat us by 3 scores in that game. And then we have week 3. We finally play our first home game. Yay! But it's against Patrick Mahomes. Are we kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Patrick Mahomes, bro. You're going to give us Patrick Mahomes on our first game at home, dude? Come on. Dude, come on, bro. Obviously, I think the Miami Dolphins will also lose that game versus Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Guys, I know Patrick Mahomes is recovering from his knee injury that happened in last season. This is assuming he's ready to play. I know he's already getting ready for OTAs OTAs. I saw a report that he is getting ready to start, practicing. He's showing up to practice now. I don't know the extent of how much he is practicing. It's definitely not full contact. I mean, it's never full contact. He's a quarterback, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to assume, though, he is starting that game. And I'm going to say the Chiefs win it. So, and I also don't think this one will be close. I think this one will probably be 21-3. Yeah, 21-3. And then, again, we travel away. Let's scroll down a little bit here for you guys. Let's get that ad out the way. Hate them ads, man. There we go. And then we travel away to play the Minnesota Vikings. Come, what is that? October 4th, we'll be playing in Minnesota. I don't know who the quarterback starting for Minnesota is going to be, right? Because they have J.J. McCarthy. They signed Kyler Murray. There's a quarterback battle going on as we speak in Minnesota. However, I will say I do think the Minnesota Vikings will still probably win this game. That defense, that Brian Flores defense it's a problem, man. It's a problem. And, it's versus his old team. I'm sure Brian Flores would love to get a win versus his old team, and I do think he's going to get it done. So I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins fall to 1-3 after their first 4 games. I do think this one will be fairly close. I don't think this one will be super crazy. I do think this one will be 17-10. Okay, I think they beat us by a touchdown. I don't think it'll be super crazy. Again, this is just going off of me thinking Kyler Murray is going to be the starting quarterback. I do think he should be the starting quarterback. He's a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy needs to sit a little bit longer. learn a little bit more. I don't think Kyler Murray makes a drastic difference versus J.J. McCarthy if you were to have J.J. McCarthy starting. But I do think he gets you 2 to 3 more wins on the season, and I think that's a playoff difference, right? That's a playoff win difference. So although it seems little, which I think it is, 2 to 3 games, no pun intended, because Kyler Murray's short. But I do think that regardless, I will see Minnesota coming out on top. If Kyler Murray is playing and he is a starter, maybe it's 20 to 10. But I still think it's going to be fairly close. But the Miami Dolphins will still lose that game. And then they travel back at home. The Miami Dolphins will be back at home week 5 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow comes to town to Miami October 11th. Guys, I really don't think I need to explain this one either. They're going to be playing against Joe Burrow. Let's see. Let's really think on this here. What can I say that won't get me so much hate? They're playing against a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So I do think Joe Burrow will also be taking down the Miami Dolphins this season. The Miami Dolphins fall to 1-4 on the season so far. I do think this one will still be close. Not too much of a blowout. I'm gonna say 21. I'm going to say 21-7 on this one. I think this one will still be, pretty close. And yes, Miami Dolphins so far have only scored more than 10 points so far this season. I know, I'm aware. I don't think our offense is going to be that great. But I think our schedule gets a little bit easier as it goes on. But I know that the Miami Dolphins in general have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL this season. Shalon Sosa, my manager. Guys, make sure you guys go check out my manager, man. Yeah, he's pretty goated over there. It's his birthday versus the Bengals. Well, guess what? We're going to take a loss on your birthday. I mean, not that you're a Miami Dolphins. This guy's a Jets fan. Can you guys believe that? Are you kidding me? This guy rather be a Jets fan than a Dolphins fan, man. Get this guy out of my chat, man. Mods, ban him. Ban him right now, man. Ban him right now. And then week 6, we have a bye week, an early bye week for the Miami Dolphins this season. I'm okay with that just because, like I said, I really don't think the Miami Dolphins have a lot to play for this season. So, it is what it is. And then they will be traveling to New York on the 25th of October to play the New York Jets. Guys, I do think the Miami Dolphins break their losing streaks versus the New York Jets. And this game, they finally get over 10 points. They will be scoring 21 points to the Jets. Let's say 17. This one's going to be close because, the Miami Dolphins and the Jets, whenever they play, no matter how much one team is better than the other, it's always going to be a good game. It's a rival game. Everybody plays extra hard, and, it's always a good game. So I'm going to say that one's still close. 21-17, the Miami Dolphins come out on top. 21-7 Jets, I'm going to write that down. Let's see, maybe. Chat, make sure we clip that so we can get that later in the season when they play each other. And what we're also gonna do? We're also gonna come back after this season's over, which is a long time from now. So I definitely gotta write this down and remember. And we're gonna compare our actual record to what we thought it was. See how accurate we were. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get like 100% accuracy, bro. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so now we're versus the New England Patriots back at home. Oh wait, you guys can't see on Twitch. The New England Patriots back at home, opening up the first day of November at home, a 4:25 p.m. game, even though it's at home. That's interesting. But we will be playing Drake May. Obviously, guys, they just went to the Super Bowl. There's no question about it. The Miami Dolphins, their happiness ends, right? It's going to be a loss. I'm going to say it's going to be 31-14. Still think we get over 10 points, surprisingly, right? But I do think the Patriots come out on top, no question about it. And they take another loss. So that's their 5th loss on the season so far. And then we got another home game, but versus the Lions. Guys, when I say that this schedule is tough, bro, this schedule is tough. Granted, the Lions did lose David Montgomery, but they did replace him with Isaiah Pacheco. Not that it might seem not much of a difference, but Isaiah Pacheco runs just as hard as David Montgomery. They are both always bouncing off of defenders, And I think that was a great addition to replace David Montgomery. I think the Lions really have to come back after last season's collapse. I do think they underperformed heavy last season, and they finally have not finally, but they'll always have a chance. But now they have a chance with the fresh season to really make it known that they're Super Bowl contenders. And I'm not saying they are, though. I'm not saying they're Super Bowl contenders. Not at all. But I do think, obviously, with a clean slate, they can really get the ball rolling. And I do think at this point, if they're hot, they're going to take a major W. It's going to be 24-7. Another loss for the Miami Dolphins. How far are we into this episode? 20 minutes so far? All right. Roughly, cut the first, 2 or 3 minutes. Just trying to time out our episode, guys, because I want to make sure we stay under an hour. You guys know I don't like to run over an hour. So then we got the Lions. All right, let's scroll past the Lions here. Then we got the Colts on the 15th of November. We're going to Indianapolis to play at Lucas Oil Stadium. I do think the Miami Dolphins can get a win here, guys. I do think they can get a win here. I'm going to say that the Colts, I'm going to imagine they have Danny Dimes. That is his name. But Daniel Jones back in playing. Assuming he is healthy, though, I really do think that at some point the Miami Dolphins are just going to get an upset win at some point this season. I do think it'll be versus the Colts. So I'm going to say that they win that game. I'm going to say it'll be 21-14, though. Nothing too crazy. A one-score game. Whatever. Then they travel to Buffalo, and Shalon Sosa said it best. Yes, they will get smacked by the Buffalo Bills. This one, guys, I don't think this first matchup is going to be anywhere close. They are playing in Buffalo. Is the dome ready in Buffalo yet? I know that they're building a dome. I just don't know if it's ready. It's not a dome. The roof, it does not have an enclosed dome, but it features a massive steel canopy that covers about 65% of this. Okay, so it's kind of covered. So there is going to be a lot of snow still. I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins are going to lose. I'm going to say it's going to be 28-3. Yeah, man, that one's going to be bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. My bad, guys. My bad. Then we play the Jets at home. We finally get to conclude the Jets series for the season. And guess what, guys? Another W for the Miami Dolphins. This one, though, I do think this one might be a little closer. 17-14. Miami Dolphins still come out on top, though. All right. And then let's scroll down here. Oh, man. And now we play Jalen Waddle and the Denver Broncos. A revenge game for Jalen Waddle after the Miami Dolphins traded him this past off season. Is he going to get that revenge win? Yes, of course he is, bro. Are you kidding me? This is not even close. This is not even close. Denver Broncos defense is insane. Their offense is even better than it was last season. This is an easy Denver Broncos W and an easy Miami Dolphins loss. They're 8th on the season. This one will be 24-7. Similar to the Lions score. All right. And then we have, who do we play after? The Bears. The Bears. They play the Bears at home. Again, another loss. I think the Bears are a really good team. I don't think Miami Dolphins come out on top on that one. I'm going to say that one's going to be 27-17, though. The Miami Dolphins will keep it competitive in the first half, but they will collapse when it comes in the biggest moments like they normally have proven to us. Okay, and then we'll play Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Guys, come on. You know what I'm going to say. Another loss for the Miami Dolphins, man. Come on. Oof. Is that their 10th loss? Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Damn, their 10th loss of the year will be versus Green Bay. This one, is in December. This one will probably be snowing. Well, it is at 1 p.m., so maybe not. But maybe so. I'm going to assume it's going to snow, so I'm going to say the score is going to be low. So I'm going to say this one is going to be 14-3. Dolphins lose. All right. And then we got the freaking Chargers, bro. They're going to take... Although we did beat the Chargers the last time we did play them. Did we? Does my memory serve me correct? Probably mistyped that completely, but oh, they lost by 2 actually. What? Maybe I'm thinking of the season before that. That's why when we found Tyreek Hill in the corner of the end zone for the game winner. That was the one I was thinking of. So we did lose to them already. Our team is much worse than last season, bearing no injuries. I do think the Chargers win this game. However, I do think this one is surprisingly close. I'm going to say this one ends 24-21 on a Chargers game-winning field goal. A game-winning field goal by the Chargers to take a W and give the Miami Dolphins their 11th loss on the season. Guys, it's not looking good. With 2 more games left on the year, I think they're both losses, man. Let's be honest. Bills and the Patriots are 2 teams that I also will say the Miami Dolphins tend to play better, even though when the Miami Dolphins might not be the best. They do always give them a run for their money, but playing in the cold, at least when you go to New England, I do think you're going to lose that game. I'm going to say you lose that game 21-10. And then I'm going to say you lose to the Bills, assuming it's snowing. I think maybe that one's closer than the first time you guys... Oh, well, actually, we're playing here. So, let me backtrack. So, now that we're playing here, I'm going to say it's going to be 21 to... Let's say 21-20. A 1-score game between the Bills and the Dolphins come week 17. So... Yeah, well, since they're in our division, we usually play our division twice per season. So the Jets will play twice, the Patriots will play twice, and the Bills will play twice per season. 1 home and 1 away. But yeah, I think we're cooked. We're basically cooked. So let's see. Let's add up all these losses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 losses, guys, to our 3 wins. Guys, I don't know how to feel about that. Oh, actually, no. 4 wins. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so a win versus the Raiders. Actually, let's just go over it really quickly so that way I can make a TikTok clip for it later. All right, here we go. So to start the season, we're going to go a Miami Dolphins win versus the Raiders. We're going to say a loss versus the 49ers. A loss versus the Chiefs, a loss versus the Vikings, a loss versus the Bengals. After the bye week, I do think the Miami Dolphins get their 2nd win on the year versus the Jets. And then they'll follow up with that with 2 more losses versus the Patriots and the Lions, getting an upset win versus the Colts. I imagine the Colts will be favored in this game just because I think the Colts roster is overall better. So I'm going to say the Colts lose this game, though. The Miami Dolphins upset them, get their 3rd win on the year, but then follow that up with a huge blowout loss to the Buffalo Bills before they head back to Miami to finish the series versus the Jets, where they will win in a close game. It'll be a close game, but the Jets will win. And then in the Waddle rematch, I do think the Broncos win that game. And really, I do think the Miami Dolphins lose every game after that. I do think they lose versus the Bears. They lose versus the Packers and the Chargers. I do think that they could lose to the Bills and to the Patriots. I will say I do think that Bills game come week 17 will be close. Even if Josh Allen is playing, I still think it'll be close. Because, when we get closer to the end of the season, a lot of teams sit their players once they've clinched a playoff spot. So depending on where we're at in the season and where the Bills are, if they're not competing for the number 1 seed and haven't locked the division, we're going to assume Josh Allen is playing. I still think, like I said, it will be close. But overall, a loss to the Bills and a loss to the Patriots. And the Miami Dolphins finished the season 4-13 on the year. A poor season for the Miami Dolphins, but like I said, hopeful for the future. We know what my real Dolphins fans know what they have right now on the roster and what it really looks like going into next season. So that is the Miami Dolphins breakdown for our wins and our losses. Now to get into the NBA side of things, here we go. 413 Sports with Seb. Yep. Clip that, chat. Clip it. Clip that. All right, and now let's pull up our Twitter here. Might have to bring this down. We got to zoom out a little bit here. Hold on. Okay. Chat, don't mind me. All right, here we go. What do we want to talk about first? All right. So the New York Knicks. Actually, let's not go on here. Let's go here. Not to ESPN watch, bro. Are you kidding me right now? No more freaking digas, bro. Just get me to the actual site, bro, so I can pull up this. Guys, like I mentioned, man, the New York Knicks somehow found a way to make it to the NBA championship. Can everybody see that pretty clear? On Twitter, you might not be able to see the full thing, so let me zoom out just a tad here. Whatever. Yeah, so you guys see that here. The New York Knicks found a way to make it to the NBA. Oh, hold on. Why is that not filling the screen? Oh, it is. My bad, guys. My bad, guys. My bad, chat. My bad, chat. My bad, chat. It didn't blend right for me. Okay, so the New York Knicks advanced to the NBA Finals. They completed a sweep versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Not only did they complete a sweep, but they are on an 11-game playoff win streak, chat. Are you kidding me? This is one of the best runs, and I hate to glaze the Knicks because I'm a Heat fan, but this is one of the best runs in NBA history. I mean, 11 straight wins in the playoffs. That's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy, and hasn't been a rough road. It hasn't been an easy road for them either. They played the Cavs this series. They played the Sixers in the first series, in the second series, and they played the Hawks in the first series. These are really good teams, guys. This is not an easy feat for the New York Knicks, but they've managed to do it, and they find themselves waiting for the finale of the Thunders versus Spurs series. But let's focus in on the New York Knicks. 11-game win streak. Are they contenders or are they pretenders? I say these guys, I think they're legit, man. I really do think they're legit, and I hate to say it, bro. But the New York Knicks really showed that they can compete, man. I really thought that the Cavaliers were going to give the Knicks a run for their money. I thought that they were going to take at least 2 games and the New York Knicks would win, but in 6 games. But the Knicks blew them out, man. Almost every game. I mean, you guys can see the last score of the last game. 93-130. 130 points? Are you kidding me? In the NBA playoffs? Did the Cavaliers even show up? Did anybody decide to play defense? Didn't look like it. And by the way, Jalen Brunson, that man, oh my God. Stud, bro. Stud. They're saying that he's wiping Melo's legacy in New York right now. That's crazy that they're saying that. That is crazy that they're saying that. But back to the question though. They're contenders. I do think they will win 2. I still don't think that they'll win the championship no matter who they play. but I do think they can win 2 games. 2 games, if it's versus the Thunder, if they play the Spurs, I think they'll take them to 7. I think they'll take them to 7. But yeah, man, I do think that they're legit. I do think they deserve to be there. It's not a fluke. But I don't know if they'll pull it off, though. I don't know. I can't say I'm 100% confident that they will pull that off. So I'm going to say, for right now, they're contenders, but they will lose the NBA championship. Moving to the Cavs. Should the Cavs head into official rebuild mode? Maybe not official rebuild mode, but a soft rebuild where you kind of blow up the roster just a tad, bring in some new guys, bring in some new pieces. I think it might be time too, and I said this about the Timberwolves. There's a couple of pieces on that roster that maybe just don't seem to fit. I think one of those pieces is might sound crazy, but I think it might be Donovan Mitchell, man. I do think, again, this is no hit to Donovan Mitchell because he's great. I just think he's on the wrong team. I really do think he's on the wrong team. I think he belongs. And again, I know I'm a Heat fan, but I'm not saying this because I am a Heat fan. But I do think if he was on the Miami Heat, I think he beats the Knicks. I don't think that the Cavs are going to be his way to an NBA championship, at least with the current roster that's built around him. You need to find a way to, one, I would move on from James Harden. And the rumors are circulating that they're looking to extend him for a long-term contract, but there's also saying he is going to be taking a team-friendly deal, which could mean he takes a significant pay cut so that way the Cavs can boost the roster that they currently have right now. If that's the case, then maybe the Cavaliers can make some noise next season. But let's get one thing clear. LeBron and Giannis, they are not going to be a Cleveland Cavalier next season. I'm going to tell you that right now, Cavs fans. It's not happening. Unless you guys are going to move Jarrett Allen and probably James Harden, if not Mobley, to LA. Because it's going to have to be a sign and trade because LeBron's not going to sign for anything less than, at least 30 to 40 million a year. So, he's not taking a veteran minimum. And the Lakers are looking for a center, a lob threat. Jarrett Allen gives them that. Despite his poor performance versus New York in this series, I still think he's an upgrade from DeAndre Ayton. So, if the Lakers can find a way to make that trade work and LeBron's okay with it, then maybe LeBron can help boost them and take them over the top, getting one more chip before he calls it a career. But let's be honest, it's not happening. And Giannis even less. Giannis, if he goes anywhere, it'll probably beat Miami, bro. Just because of all the ties that all the rumors keep saying, all the hints that he keeps dropping. It's either going to be that, or I've heard the Celtics. I've seen on Twitter and on ESPN and all this stuff that they're Celtics talk, which would be kind of crazy if Celtics find a way to get Giannis, Tatum, and Jaylen Brown on the same team. I need Adam Silver to step in, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to need him to step in, veto that trade, do what David Stern did, and veto the trade, bro. We can't have that happen in the NBA. I would literally have to never watch the NBA again because the Celtics would probably win 2 or 3 championships in a row with that core 3. No matter who is around them. Those 3. Insane. So yeah, I would say after Harden, completely pooped the bed, I say you have to move on from him. Like I don't really see a reason why you have him stick around. I just want to pull up his stats for this past playoff series. Honestly, for the playoffs in general, because let's be honest, it was not great. Let's see here. So here we go. Here you have his postseason totals. I really wish it... but if I zoom out, you guys won't be able to see it. I really wish it gave me the categories with it, but that's okay. Let's just go to the game log. Let's just look at his last few games. This is better. Guys, look at this, man. 25%, bro. In an elimination game, 2 for 8 on the field, bro. 5 turnovers. Another game where you have more turnovers than field goals made. 12 points. Come on, man. And 8 of your points came from the free throw line, bro. Like, come on, dude. This is atrocious, bro. The game before, 8 for 15. You had 19 points, bro. Come on. What are we doing? 6 turnovers. Game 2, 18 points. 6 for 15. You shot. This is probably one of your better games of the series, at least all around, because you didn't have any turnovers. But, dude, like, this was just pitiful, bro. 20% versus the Detroit Pistons. Like, I don't know how you back that up, man, if you're the Cleveland front office. I really don't. I'm surprised that if the rumors are true that they're looking to extend them, I'm surprised that they're looking to do so. I mean, I guess since they are also saying he's going to take a significant pay cut, maybe it's worth it at that point. But honestly, bro, if I'm the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm signing and trading Harden with Jarrett Allen for any package that I can get to boost this roster, because this roster has to change next season if they want to make any noise. I'm also surprised they kept Kenny Atkinson. I really thought that after this that they were going to let him go, but they decided for him to stick around, and, that's okay. Yeah, at least you keep a familiar face around. If you're going to blow up the roster, at least that way you start fresh with plenty of offseason to really get to know each other, and et cetera, et cetera. Moving on to the next series, though. The Spurs and the Thunder. Game 5 occurred last night. Can we pull that up, chat? This is not what we want. Nope, not what we want. And let me tell you, it was a good game. Even though the score might not say that, it was a good game. So your final score, 127 to 114. A 13-point win for the Oklahoma City Thunder to take Game 5. Guys, if you guys don't know, usually the winner of Game 5 usually ends up winning the series. The stat was 76% of the time Game 5 winners of a conference finals advance to the finals. This was probably, to this point in time, as of 5/27/2026, Game 5 was probably one of Wemby's biggest games in his entire career so far. Right? Obviously, there's probably going to be bigger games later on down the line, but as of right now, that was his biggest game, and he really didn't perform all that well, man. I mean, he looked a little bit tired out there. He looked like he really couldn't get a rhythm going. He struggled to shoot the ball effectively last night. If you want to, let's look at the box score for you. He shot 4 for 15, man. He had, where's the point total at? 20 points. He shot 12 free throws, and he made all the free throws. At least, he was in rhythm at the free throw line. He got the easy points. But really, overall, he struggled. I mean, he has 6 rebounds. We know Victor is a 10 rebound guy every single night. He struggled to get on the board. To get boards, he struggled to get on the board in general, aside from getting to the free throw line. He didn't make a single three-pointer. It was rough. It was rough, man. And honestly, I can't say I'm surprised. I have been on record saying Victor Wembanyama. I do think he is one of the best players in the league. I do think a lot of his hype is really, I wouldn't say undeserved, but a lot of the hype really needs to come down a bit. All right, he has a lot to learn. He's still young. His offensive game really, like I said earlier, really looked like it had no rhythm, at least last night. I do think this offseason, his main goal should be to get in the lab with other stretch forwards in the offseason and get workouts, get tips from them, and work on getting a good mid-range post-game. Because if you look at Paul Gasol, if you look at guys like Paul Gasol, Kevin Garnett, what was the other guy that I mentioned here? LaMarcus Aldridge, Paul Millsap, who had a really good spin turnaround jumper. Like those guys, I mean, not that Paul Millsap is anywhere near those other guys. No, with all due respect. But those are those guys who are known for having good post moves, good mid range jump shots. And I think if Victor Wembanyama wants to take that next step offensively and become unstoppable, I mean, the guy's already 10 foot tall, but if he really wants to become unstoppable, he needs to develop that type of game. And he also needs to add a go-to move. An unstoppable move. I mean, you're 10 foot tall, you're 11 feet long, like go to work, bro. Go to work. Use your post. Maybe develop a, you know how crazy your sky hook would be, dude? If you just post it up and if you mastered that shot, bro, dude, I'm just saying. Obviously, I'm nowhere near Wemby's ability to play basketball, but I'm just calling it from what I can see, man. From my take on it. Excuse me. My take on it is Wemby needs to develop another offensive focal point to his game, which is to develop a mid-range, spin around post jumper type of shot, or work on some type of post hook, sky hook, runner hook type of move that becomes unstoppable and gets you 10 points easy every time you want to run that shot. So those are just a couple of things that I wanted to talk about for Wemby. To put it in terms that everybody will understand, Victor Wembanyama, I butchered his name. Victor Wembanyama needs to work on his bag. He needs to get in his bag. He's not going to get away with just being tall for that long. The NBA is not like college. It's not like anything he's ever experienced before. I mean, granted, this is not his first time in the league either. But, it's going to get tougher as teams learn to figure him out. And they're starting to do that. And he needs to be able to counter that. And I think one of those things will be to develop that turnaround fade, that turnaround hook. And I do think he can do it. He's very much capable. He's a phenomenal player. And I do think at some point he will be the best player in the league. Okay? I still will hold that to Nikola Jokic. I think that man, unstoppable. But yeah. Moving more back to the series itself. Again, guys, Game 5 was yesterday. Today, they're off. Tomorrow will be Game 6. I'm going to stick with the prediction that OKC is going to win in 7 just because that was a prediction I originally made and I don't want to backtrack off of it. And not to say it just to cover myself for it, but honestly, if OKC wins in Game 6 in San Antonio tomorrow night, I wouldn't be surprised. I do think OKC played exceptionally well last night. I do think Jared McCain stepped up when he was in the starting role for the first time in his NBA career. Not starting for the first time, excuse me. First time starting in a playoff game in his NBA career. He played phenomenal. 7 for 19, 20 points. He had some big threes down the stretch. He made some really big plays on a lot of OKC's runs when the Spurs were kind of closing the gap and they were within 8. Jared McCain went to work, and there was a point in time he scored 7 straight points. So shout out to Jared McCain. I think he really stepped up huge for OKC last night. Assuming J-Dub and AJ Williams. AJ, is that his last name? Williams? Did I get that right? Oh, no, it might be Mitchell, actually. I think it's Mitchell. Yeah, AJ Mitchell. AJ Mitchell and J-Dub, if they don't come back tomorrow, I think Jared McCain needs to step up again. Obviously, he needs to have another big game. And as you can see, Alex Caruso also had another good game. He shot 50% from the floor, 50% from 3, and he made all his free throws. So he had a really big night, and obviously you guys know he's a menace defensively with 3 steals on the night. So, again, I'm going to stick with the prediction that OKC wins in 7 games, but I just wouldn't be surprised if OKC wins it in 6 because they're just playing so well right now. I mean, look at this. 48% from the floor, 44% from 3-point range. You look at the Spurs, 40% from field goal range, from the floor, and 29% from 3-point range. So they're struggling to really get that 3 ball, and you guys really saw it last night with guys like Dylan Harper. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama went over 5. De'Aaron Fox had a really bad night as well, 0 for 4. He only had 9 points, and I did mention before this series started, De'Aaron Fox was, when he finally was cleared to play, he was going to need to have big games in order to beat OKC. I said it. He needs to step up. He needs to be the guy to help close the games out. And shooting 4 for 15 is just not going to get it done. So, unless De'Aaron Fox has a really good game tomorrow night, I expect... I wouldn't be surprised if OKC wins the series and advances to play the Knicks in the NBA Finals. Now, before we get into the finishing segment of this episode, because we're about to cut it close, I do want to touch on the episode probably for... let me see here. Well, not for next week, but the week after. If the series is between... If the final series is 2-1 and the Knicks are winning, then the next episode will be on the 17th of June instead of the 10th. But if it's 3-0, if the series is 3-0, we'll have an episode on the 10th, because the night after, or that night, I think is game 4. So we'll pretty much know more or less if, who's going to win the series at that point. So we'll do an episode to kind of close out the NBA season and give some final thoughts. And before we start speculating on free agency, trades, the draft, and all that great stuff. So just keep an eye out for that. Obviously, if you guys are following me, keep your noties on. You guys will know when I go live, when the episodes are. You guys know I came up with all those cool graphics because I'm just so goated. But yeah. So now we're going to move on to the closing segment. This one will be short. I should be able to finish this episode in the next couple minutes. But to close it out, I do want to talk about the WNBA. So let's head over to that side of ESPN. So as of right now, these are the current standings for the WNBA. Can you see all the teams on there? No. Damn, bro, but it just leaves like this empty black space on the episode. You know what I'm going to do? Move Seb to the other corner. All right. So here we go. You guys can see that there on Twitter. You guys know what I tell you on Twitter, man. Just come watch me on Twitch, bro. It's better. It's a lot better. No AI used. Yeah, no AI used on my graphics. That's for sure. Cough, cough. Unlike some universities. Oh, actually, guys, did you guys notice my ECU hoodie? Pretty goated. I know. You guys know Sportswithseb likes to get in touch with all the colleges around United States of America. So thrifted it. Yeah, you already know. Thrifted. I think this was like $11 at the thrift store. So crazy find. But anyways, let's close this episode out, man. Let's get into the WNBA. So a lot of games are being played today specifically, which actually I should have probably pulled that up first. So let's go to the schedule real quick so you guys can see all the games here. There's 5 games happening today. We have the New York Liberty and the Phoenix Mercury tipping off right now, actually. So make sure you guys go watch that game right after this episode's over. And it just automatically scrolled for me, bro. Are you kidding me right now? And then you guys see the rest of the games. You have Toronto Tempo and Chicago Sky at 8. You have the Dream and Minnesota at 9 p.m. You have Connecticut and Portland at 10. And then you have my Mystics, my Washington Mystics versus the Seattle Sonics. A rematch, I believe the last game that happened this past Monday. I think that they played each other. No, it wasn't Monday. Was it Sunday? Yeah. They did play each other this past Sunday. My Mystics did, unfortunately, lose. But they will have a chance to redeem themselves coming tonight at 10 p.m. So make sure you guys all go tune in on those games. So 5 games today, which is crazy because there's no games yesterday. I'm not sure who makes the WNBA schedules, but low-key, what are you doing? What are you doing? You had Tuesday where there was no games on the schedule. And you have 5 games happening today. That's just crazy to me. And then you have the Mystics play on Sunday, but then their next game's on Wednesday, and they're playing in the same location. That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. But yeah, so Mystics, they fell short. They really didn't look all that great in that last game. But like I said, they'll have a chance to redeem themselves this upcoming game tonight. But what I really wanted to get into was the standings, because the standings have changed a lot since we last been here. Let's backtrack a little bit here. Yeah, so we got the Dream, we got the Fever, we got the Aces as our top 3 teams. As of right now, the Dream sitting at 4-1 with Angel Reese, number 1 in the league. Probably going to win a Defensive Player of the Year this year. I'm not going to lie. She's been playing pretty good this season. We have the Indiana Fever, who have picked it up since the last time we've seen the episode. I believe they were out of playoff contention the last episode, so they've definitely made their way. And the Aces dropped a little bit, I believe, from the 1 or 2 spot to the 3rd seed. And then, of course, my Mystics dropped all the way from being close to the playoff race all the way to close to the bottom of the WNBA as of right now. But more specifically, I wanted to talk about one of the games that I watched not that long ago. I believe it was on Monday. It was the Liberty and the Portland Fire game. Yeah, this game right here. Let me tell you, man, I actually bet money on this game. And I bet New York to win because they were like minus 600, and I just needed to add to the parlay. You guys know my bettors know how that. My sports bettors, they know what I'm talking about. And I just kind of need to add something to buffer it out. And I thought this was a really close, like a good one, and it wasn't because they lost. So as you guys can see, 81-74 was the final score of this game. But why I wanted to bring this up, 1, because I watched it, so I can talk about it. 2. There was some noticeable things that were going wrong with the New York Liberty. As you guys know, Sabrina Ionescu has been out for a couple of games, and I think that's really impacted New York Liberty. And they're also out with Sabali. She only played 4 minutes. I think she ended up being sick or something, and they ended up ruling her out, and she might be out for a little bit now too as well. So they really did struggle. They're really missing out on a lot of key pieces on this team. But to bring it back to Sabrina, I think she really establishes, obviously being the point guard of the team, she really establishes the flow of the game. She's able to guide her teammates where they need to be, get to their spots, set up the plays, and get the flow of the offense going. And I think, without her, Liberty looks lost. The New York Liberty look lost out there, man. They look like they're making a lot of mistakes. They're not moving the ball as efficiently as they normally would. I mean, they had a season-high 19 turnovers in this game versus the Portland Fire. And mind you, they were winning majority of this game. This wasn't like Portland Fire was just beating them. No. Liberty was winning for majority of this game, and Portland Fire just really came back and really gave it to them. And a big part of that was Carl Leite. She stepped up huge last night. No, not last night. Monday night versus Liberty when they were making their run. She had a huge 3-pointer that she shot over Breanna Stewart as well to basically not put the nail in the coffin, but like to kind of put a nail in the coffin for Portland Fire and secure their win. And she really stepped up big time. She made a lot of key plays down the stretch offensively. And Emily, too, I don't want to say her last name because I'm going to butcher it, but Emily, too, really stepped up as well. Not offensively because, as you can see, she only had 8 points. But you guys can see the 4 blocks, the 4 steals, the 5 boards that she had versus Liberty. And she really locked down Breanna Stewart down the stretch when Breanna Stewart was trying to make a run for Liberty to try and take the lead and try to get back ahead in this game. And she stepped up 4 blocks. Like, I want to say 2 or 3 of those was on Breanna Stewart alone. So, but yeah, I just wanted to point out that game just because I watched it, I could talk about it. And you guys know I'm trying to get in tune with the WNBA, man. I gotta learn the lore. You guys gotta teach me. But yeah, man. So I really just wanted to touch on that one. So obviously, you guys know they fall to 3-4, and the Portland Fire moved to 4-3. So shout out to Carl Leite. I do think New York Liberty, though, once they get Sabrina back, I do think everything will be back on track, and they'll get going again and really establish their dominance in this league. But for right now, we'll have to wait and see. So let's let's see. Let's go over our notes here. I really think that's gonna wrap up our episode. I think, and we're really gonna hit the hour mark right on time. So let's put Seb in full cam mode and do our send off, guys. It was a pleasure, man. You guys know where to find me, man. Sports with Seb on every single platform. Make sure you guys check out all the articles that I also write on LemonCityLive.com. And make sure you guys check out Pause Up Podcast. Those are the guys I work with for covering FIU. So make sure you guys go check out all those guys. And again, put on those post noties so you guys know when I go live, when I post, when I live tweet. And yeah, that's gonna wrap up episode 7. So we'll catch you guys in the next one.